Hello and welcome. We have a Star Citizen October 2022 update for you today. What's going on through October in regards to news content development for Star Citizen and its studio CIG, Cloud Imperium Games, and what is new with our channel. To start with, we've got some September giveaway winners for ships that we give away every month. We had a trio of Origin 100 series ships, so 3 winners this time. We've got John Lash, Victor Demp, and Zam, or Exam, based on how you want to say it, that win a 100i, 125a, and 135c, respectively, from Origin Jumpworks, with a game package as well, so you can actually play Star Citizen if you can't already. The new giveaway for October is for a Cutlass Black Skull and Bones edition with lifetime insurance and game package. All you need to play Star Citizen. Cutlass Black, really great ship for doing a bit of multi-crew, doing a bit of everything the verse has to offer in a nice compact parcel. Just comment on any of my videos made during the month to be in for a chance of winning that. And we might have some additional giveaways going on later in the month too. We've got CitizenCon and all that sort of jazz happening, so we'll see what happens and we'll announce them as and when. CitizenCon, as I said, is very close. It's one of the biggest events of the year. Saturday, 8th of October from 3 PM UTC. That is going to be live streamed on the Star Citizen Twitch channel. And we've got loads of panels and development information to look forward to. The tagline for this year's CitizenCon is Journey to 4.0. But temper your expectations, because we know there's not going to be a big sort of gameplay demo or keynote like they've had in previous years this year. It is a virtual event only. They toned it down a little bit this year because they didn't know where they were going to be in regards to COVID and sort of people's logistics. But they're also moving into new studios, and there's lots of stuff happening at Cloud Imperium and with Star Citizen that made it not really viable to have a load of devs working on a gameplay demo for sort of like future content. So this time we've got the Journey to 4.0, which is distinctly different from the Road to Pyro. There are 7 panels that we know about that are going to be shown throughout the day. Planetary Pyro, an in-engine tour of planets and moons of Pyro. Expect to see lots of updates to Pyro there and where they are with a load of the development. Design brief investigations, looking at building an interesting investigation mission. Quite excited for that, actually. Their new underground, looking at updated underground facilities and sort of bunkers and things that they might put underground, associated gameplay with that, and new caverns. The need for multiple speeds. This looks at new master modes and the evolving flight experience, as well as defining ship roles, so they are much more important. Lorville Redux. I believe this is looking at the evolution of Lorville, sort of updating it, making it sort of the gold standard of what they can do, and sort of improving its cityscape. Power play. This is focusing on the resource management system, the transfer of power and energy and resources around a ship or structure that make it sort of functional, sort of how the components communicate with each other. It opens up engineering, physical components, true multi-crew gameplay, damage control, and a whole host of other things. It is one of the most important things that Star Citizen needs to get into the game, and is such a huge milestone sort of feature. We believe that it's going to be in game next year, but let's see what they've got to say at CitizenCon about it. We also have Talking Ship 2952. This is a ship update as well as a preview of new ships and vehicles, and there is some form of vote on a new ship to come, so we might see some cool new stuff. Sometimes they release new ships here or variants and they go, and this ship's now immediately flyable, or this ship is going to go on concept sale now, so buy it. That'll be interesting to see what they've got to show. Each of those panels are probably going to be around an hour long on average, and almost certainly pre-recorded, and will be available as individual videos after CitizenCon. There's also some form of giveaways and interactivity throughout the day, because there is going to be, I believe, a live stream portion that is more interactive, and they will be talking to sort of the chat and all that sort of jazz. There is a digital goodies pack that they've announced that's going out to all backers automatically. So being a backer typically means you've spent at least $5 on your account. So assumedly, if you've done that before the 8th of October, then you'll get those items. They're going to be available to use in Alpha 3.18 as well. There's a Francis, so Star Wall party animal plushie, a Frontier jumpsuit, and a Frontier bearing grenade launcher. Grenade launcher equals win, although probably wouldn't want to use them around like Siege of Orison or co-op missions because you're going to be hitting your friends or making new enemies, I suppose is the term. Zin and I will be covering that event and all of those panels in a series of videos, so don't worry about watching it live on the day, and as I said, they will be available, I believe, as standalone on the Star Citizen YouTube channel afterwards as well, those panels. I'm not going to be doing a watch party, but I may join in with Salty Mike and Moist Noodle at times throughout the day who are doing a watch party, so watch them. If you want to watch a watch party, watch them, or watch your favourite content creator, or watch it live straight from Cloud Imperium. Do what you want, I'm not your dad. The other sort of big thing that's happening throughout this month of October is Alpha 3.18. So you're likely going to see some leaks from Eva Carty on other channels when 3.18 actually finally goes out to Eva Carty. I can't cover Eva Carty leaks because I'm an Eva Carty member myself, and as such I'm NDA'd, non-disclosure agreemented, to basically not discuss Eva Carty patches. Also, Eva Carty is likely going to be pretty PES specific, so persistent entity streaming, and very, very buggy. But we may also see a Wave 1 later in the month, and that would go out to more players, and then we'd be able to talk about it and actually show footage of it and all that sort of jazz. So Cloud Imperium wants to release Alpha 3.18 to live by mid-November, if possible, because they want to get it ready for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. So it's quite possible we won't hear much on that and on 3.18 until later in October, as Cloud Imperium are busy with CitizenCon, Eva Carty testing, and Inside Star Citizen is on its quarterly hiatus for 3 weeks, so returns at the end of the month. That all said, we're still waiting on 3.18 to go to Eva Carty still, as there were some blockers that needed solving before that happened, so hopefully they'll be able to get through that, and they'll get it out to Eva Carty this week. 3.18 is by far the most important milestone patch to date, and it's got loads of features, some of which we will do some deep dives into throughout the month. We've got persistent entity streaming, PES, so that's the ability for the server to save data and locational information, and then if the server restarts, it can actually just reload that data. Items will be tracked on the server where they are left, and they will persist there, so you could make a giant pile of plushies, but it will also track sort of the husks and hulks of ships that have been destroyed, which is very important for salvage. However, there is no guarantee you're going to get back on the same shard or get back on that same server that you were on when you logged off, which is an issue, but it's the first implementation. It is going to mean you're sort of like jumping into parallel worlds that have been changed somewhat. I don't expect there's actually going to be that many servers running because of the nature of them being able to, when they restart a server, actually copy the sort of server information across. It means they probably need less servers, and servers should be in a much better state. This is the first implementation. They've got loads of plans so that you'll have like shard affinity in the future, so you'll get back on the same server that you were on, but it's a prerequisite to things like server meshing, base building, exploration, and a huge amount of other systems which are now built into it. We've got salvage. It's hull stripping salvage at this stage. There's more salvage types to come in the future, but we've got the Vulture and the Reclaimer that are going to be able to do this. The Vulture's also released in 3.18, and we're going to be able to hull strip ships and then use that material to repair ships using a multi-tool and a little attachment for it, a salvage attachment for it. You'll also be able to salvage with that multi-tool as well. You'll be able to salvage destroyed wrecks of other player and NPC ships, but also they will spawn in wreck sites for you to salvage as well. The cargo refactor. So there's some concerns about the cargo refactor, as Cloud Imperium haven't talked about it too much and haven't shown it off that much in the last quarter, but the cargo refactor is going to make sort of commodity cargo more physicalized and movable. They want to at some point have sort of costs and times associated with loading and unloading cargo. Cargo is going to start to have a lot more interactivity to it. You'll see different cargo containers and lots of back-end updates as well. There's a quite big crash site on Daymar that they've sort of been putting in that's got a 600i wreck. It's got a Mercury Star Runner wreck, which are both new for this patch, and sort of like a junker town there as well. It's currently populated by Ninetales, but when they update it properly, it will be the Sand Nomads there, because it makes more sense for them to be there. There's going to be missions associated there, combat missions, sort of eliminate a target, eliminate targets, and delivery missions there. There's new rivers and new river tech that are coming into the game, so you'll see on Hurston and on Microtech some rivers turn up, more rivers, and them look better. There's cliffs and stuff that they've also updated the tech with. It should be pretty cool. Sand caves. New sand caves on Daymar, they will expand out to other places too. Prison updates. So they're making prison gameplay a bit more interesting. There's NPCs that are walking around. There might be some tweaks to the general gameplay there, but there's going to be new missions. There are crime stat updates. So if you've got a crime stat 1 or 2, then you're going to be able to land without being attacked, typically, at landing zones and pay off those as fines at fine kiosks. You'll also be able to surrender at fine kiosks to get 20% off your prison sentence if you're able to get to one. There's updates to Security Post Korea, making it a hot point of activity for PvP and unlawful gameplay. So players can go there, attack Security Post Korea. It will be the only place they can hack down their criminal rating, but also there's going to be a dispensary there. And if you take out some of the sort of lieutenants of the Crusader security forces that are now stationed there, you'll be able to use the computer to spawn in valuable goods effectively from the confiscated goods machine that will then be able to be looted by you and taken back and sold. But conversely, there's going to be a load of bounty hunters that come after you there too. There's new combat missions at the Orison platforms, some of which were used obviously originally for the Siege of Orison. The Drake Corsair is being added to 3.18, so that no-frills, multi-role, multi-crew exploration ship is going to make a lot of people very happy. It's very popular as a ship. Also at Orison again, we've got the Greycat buggy track, which is going to be at the Vision Center, which is sort of like the expo hall at Orison. There's going to be 8 little buggies that spawn there, and you can drive them around the track. I'm not sure how enforced that's going to be in game rules, and we'll have to wait and see. It is possible that some of those features will get delayed. To be honest, if anything does get delayed there, it's likely to be the cargo factor, or at least that's what people are currently sort of thinking. That said, nothing might get delayed there. It might actually all go ahead as sort of planned. We'll keep you up to date with what's happening as and when it happens. But Cloud Imperium did say there was going to be a 2 to 3 month testing patch cycle for 3.18. They haven't released it to Ivacati yet, and it's got a target of live for mid-November. So you can draw your own conclusions from that. I don't think there's enough time to fit everything in there for the initial release of 3.18, but maybe there is. Maybe it's just persistent entity streaming that's going to require the lion's share of sort of testing there, and maybe it will go pretty well. They have been obviously working on that internally. Now, what other content plans have we got for October? Well, we're going to be covering everything about CitizenCon and Alpha 3.18 features and anything that's sort of related to that. But when it comes to 3.18, it's going to be non-Ivacati PTU stuff. Even though there isn't any Inside Star Citizen until the end of the month, we still have Star Citizen Live and roadmap updates from Cloud Imperium, and they're going to start to hype the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo towards the end of the month, which is likely in November. It's also very likely, in my opinion, that Chris Roberts will do a letter from the chairman coinciding with CitizenCon, so bear that in mind. And typically, they are a huge sort of treasure trove of development information. After CitizenCon, we're going to know a lot more about what content we're going to be doing, but we'll probably do an expanded, updated Road to Alpha 4.0. We're starting to put out exclusive videos again for channel members and Patreons. We just did a one on Star Trek Bridge Crew VR with Zin and I messing around and being idiots. We're likely to have some new ships, some vehicles from CitizenCon that we'll do ship buyers guides on. Sometimes the monthly reports aren't done in October, or it might be they aren't done in November. But one of those, they sort of go, we're not doing it this month because of CitizenCon, because of the major patch release, and we're do them a larger one the month afterwards. So bear that in mind. That might happen. So we might have a monthly report next week or next month. But probably not both. Cloud Imperium in the UK are currently migrating to Manchester, I believe. That's what they've said. I'm not sure if that means they're moving into their new studio yet, or just have temporary studios or something there until their studio's built, because as far as I was aware, their studio isn't finished yet. We know that the Frankfurt office have moved into their new building, I believe it's the One building. I'm going to poke CIG a little bit to get any more information about that I can. We might get some other events as well running throughout October, like more Siege of Orison, maybe Xenothreat, something like that during the month. I doubt there's going to be anything on Squadron 42 update-wise this month, but maybe if we've got a monthly report, obviously we'll get some Squadron 42 there. NPCs and AI are something that we will cover in a lot of detail, either this month or next month. I really want to do a big deep dive into resource management, that resource management system which enables engineering, true multi-crew, physical components, damage control, all that sort of stuff. But it's connected to so many other systems, and so much is dependent on it. I think we could probably do a video each on engineering and combine that with damage control, multi-crew gameplay, what that's actually supposed to mean and what the future of that looks like, physical components. It allows for a huge amount of gameplay, and yeah, so I want to talk about that in quite a lot of detail. Content-wise as well, if there's anything specific that you want us to cover on the channel, please let us know in the comments. Specific features, specific gameplay, whatever, I will look at the comments and make decisions based on that. Every little helps. Other games-wise, I'm sort of been playing other things. I'm bored of Lost Ark now, so I haven't played that in a week or so. I completed Cult of the Lamb last month. That was really good, but really short and pretty easy, pretty fun. And we're about to do a playthrough of Grounded, which is a co-op survival Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of game. And now it's actually fully released, which is rare nowadays, a fully released game. I'm also looking forward to Overwatch 2 that comes out in the next few days, because I quite like, or at least I used to like, team-based competitive shooters. Health-wise, I've abandoned the keto diet. I just like food too much, except cucumber. That's the devil's vegetable. I'm trying to do an hour run every day and some other exercise too. I hurt my back the other week though, and then I couldn't exercise for a few days, and I was eating poorly at the same time, so I felt like I got a bit tubby, but I'm back on it now, and mental health-wise, I think I'm pretty chill at the moment. I occasionally get sort of anxiety attacks, which is sort of just a problem I have, as I'm sort of bipolar and suffer pretty badly from anxiety. It's pretty manageable. Also looking for a house at the moment. Sort of going, I want to buy a house rather than go back to renting. So looking at doing that either at the end of this year, probably more likely sort of early next year is when I'd want to move into a new place. Thank you so much to our channel members and Patreons who really help the channel, especially during slower periods of Star Citizen's developments and some news. Typically like August, September time is the sort of quietest time of the year for us. JP, you are always a legend. Miles Harding, Plastic Death, Brewbeard, Austin Downs, Mill, Nathan Ross, Nick Charles, Sigelion, and Huntress, you are all especially awesome people. Thank you so much for your extreme levels of support for the channel. There are also hundreds more supporters of the channel, and if you want to join them, please consider clicking the join button under my videos or becoming a Patreon or leaving a thanks with the thanks button. But genuinely, thank you so much for your support of the channel. It really means a lot and allows us to continue and make loads of videos. And yeah, video a day keeps the developer at bay. I am shilling for NordVPN and Tobii Eye Tracker 5, probably throughout October. And yeah, I use them both. And I think other people can get a lot of use out of them. I'll let the new outro do the talking there. I'll drop that in a second. But Zin's sort of learning how to do some more animation stuff now, and it's going to be a slow process, but hopefully you'll enjoy it throughout. NordCon 2952, the road to Nord 4.0. What do you want out of nordvpn.com/BoredGamer? Nord base building? Nord hunting 2.0? A dynamic Nordonomy? I'm personally looking forward to the latest Nord cruiser. In the meantime, I'm going to make do with NordVPN protecting my data from insidious space pirates and giving me unrivaled access to all the content that the internet has to offer. Use the links below. Note, NordCon 2952 does not actually exist. Also adding to my shill pile, Tobii Eye Tracker 5 gives you precise head tracking and control with your eyes. That's the sound of my eyes controlling the lasers, giving you unprecedented immersion in Star Citizen. You can basically aim lasers with your eyes. Pew pew! Use the links below and code BoredGamer for discount. Every month we have a ship giveaway for Star Citizen. For October, we're giving away a Cutlass Black with pirate skin, lifetime insurance, and Star Citizen game package. All you need to jump into the game. Just comment on any of my videos made during October to be in for a chance of winning that. If you would like to further support the channel, please consider becoming a channel member with the join button below my videos, or potentially becoming a Patreon. You'll get access to some exclusive content, and it really helps the channel out. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and have a great October.